day 16 of our Cortices technique reboot that we're doing for 30 days. We're more than halfway through. Wow, this has been cool. And the feedback that you guys have been giving is really amazing too. Some of you are going through some really, really awesome changes. So if you join me today, just do a little bit of a thumbs up or a heart if you like to let me know that you're there. If you have any questions, let me know. Today's tip, actually, I knew right from day one that I would be speaking to you at some stage about this. I was just waiting for it to come up and for me to know that it was the right day to speak to you about it. It's called a reverse cortices. And I guess a reverse cortices came up for me as a practitioner probably about, I'm going to say about 9 years ago, 10 years ago. I remember actually being in a training, body talk training, taking one of the advanced classes, and I was facilitating a session for somebody. And sometimes as part of the session, a priority comes up where you need to tap out someone's cortices. It does a lot of things. It helps reboot different elements to the body-mind complex. It helps set up brand new systems and patterns for the body to follow. It helps a person's mind to be able to really let go of and shake off limiting beliefs that they've had, especially if it's, you know, really entangled with other factors, other people, other communities. And so cortices is very, very often a priority during a session or at the end of a session. And whilst I was in the process of tapping out cortices, I had this strongest sensation that when I got to the end of it, that I basically needed to start again, but go in the opposite direction. So I would start from the front of the brain, move my way all the way around to the back, and then finish off with the temporal lobes. Well, this came up more and more for me over the years, and it's been a really common occurrence now, especially if I've facilitated a session for somebody that has really, really big information in it, where the body-mind complex is going to have to do a lot of work. It's going to require a lot of different internal team members, per se, to come together to really figure out this issue that it has within it. And the reverse cortices often comes up for me. It's not a standalone technique. I will always do cortices the right way that I've been teaching you, and then it will come up because it will, well, it comes up very differently for me because I'm a practitioner. But what I was going to suggest to you is that when you get to the end of cortices, if you feel intuitively pulled to keep this loop going and loop it back around the other way, because then it can feel like a completion piece. So if you get to the end of cortices and it feels like something's not completed, quite often that can be because you need to do cortices back the other way so that it goes full circle. If you're still getting to the end of cortices and it doesn't feel like that you're completed, quite often that can be because your attention is not clear enough, your intention is not clear enough, you are not doing nice, big, deep, full breaths. So you just need to sit with it quite presently when you do the technique for a couple of minutes. And then, good morning, Bambi. And then you will get that completion feeling and you will feel the response going on in the body as well. But I would really love to teach you this reverse cortices technique. Now, I did notice, because this is the way that things work, whether or not I was picking up on information that other people around the world, other practitioners, other students were getting this nudge, this feel to do reverse cortices, or whether it was information that I downloaded and it rippled, who knows? It doesn't really matter. But what I do know is that a couple of years ago, there were practitioners starting to talk about it. And I thought, wow, isn't that wonderful that the innate wisdom can just bring up this priority, give somebody a bit of a nudge and say, you know what? after you finish doing that, can we just do it in the reverse? Because that would really bring a lot of completion for me. And I loved the way that just the information was spreading around the world and around the globe. It was really beautiful. So for you practitioners, if you have learned how to do muscle testing, whether you're body talk or another modality, you might find that this comes up for you now. Don't push it. If it's not meant to be there, it's just not meant to be there. And it's not something that comes up for me really, really regularly. It's quite often, I don't know, it's like it's saved for the big stuff when somebody's going to need a bit more extra support just to get through the next couple of days. And it's definitely something that next year, when I go into my 2018 program, which this year was called Dynamic Group Distance Sessions, next year the program is being reframed and it's called My Incredible Orbit. A brand new group is going to be set up within that platform, and it's going to be designed for people to be able to come together, to be able to meditate, to be able to explore, to be able to use their Mindscape workshops, to go into and look at these types of concepts that are coming up and understand them a little bit more in depth, to get to know it a bit more personally. So that's super, super exciting. Yeah. So if you're a practitioner, allow it to come up for you if it's going to come up for you. If you're not and you don't have muscle testing or something like that, then that's a great thing, because you can totally go back to and rely on your instincts for that. You can hook into your gut brain, hook into your intuition. It'll be a pull that pulls you. You'll get this nudge to reverse it and complete it back the other way. All right. So let's do that today. I'm going to talk you through it. Let's start off with doing cortices the correct way. So from back to front. Nice big deep breath in and out. Tapping over all three brains as we normally do. My attention is on the head and the brain. Second hand position, moving one hand with that. My intention is that the communication and the circulation within the brain improves to its optimal level that's right for me. Third hand position. My other intention is that it improves circulation and communication between the head brain and the rest of my body, between the head brain and the other brains. So the major ones are the heart brain and the gut brain that we're talking about today at this level. Next hand position. All the way around to the front of the eyebrows. Temporal lobes. Take one hand away. Go ahead, tap it in. Now we're going to reverse the cortices. We're starting at the front of the brain, prefrontal cortex. We'll go ahead, tap this in. Next hand position. So we're working our way around to the back. Our attention is still the same. Our intention is still the same. Third hand position. fourth hand position. All the way around to the base of the skull where it meets the neck. Position for me. Finishing off with the temporal lobes. It's really common to get shivers, like chills that run through the body, areas of heat. Done. So cortices and reverse cortices when you so feel inclined to do that. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, interesting things that happened to you, leave them in the comments section or post them in a new post to the page, and I can get back to you. We could talk about it tomorrow, however that works out. Have a fantastic day, evening, wherever you are, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.